Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Xur, his location, his random rolls, my recommendations for November 5th, 2021. You can find him in his regular spot on the EDZ. Just head over to the Winding Cove, and on top of this little precipice right here, you can find the Xur. This is a high overview in case this is all you cared about. There are a couple items here that I'm very much looking forward to. Ooh, I took a sneak peek. It's okay. It's alright. Alright, let's move on to the exotic weapon. First up, we have the Prometheus Lens. It's a trace rifle. It has a little damaging ball. It doesn't really do that much damage, and it gets ammo whenever you get kills with it. I'm not really a big fan of it, and I don't really know when to use it. It's one of those trace rifles that was cool when it did like 10 times the damage it was supposed to do, and then again, I don't know when to use it. Oh, and it's got a bunch of like dope ornaments. Oh, I mean, this gun is like it's a little spoiled for ornaments. I mean, look at this. It's beautiful. Next up for the Hunter Exotic, we have Shinobu's Vow, an exotic that was very close to getting my top 10 this season, pretty much like number 11, 12, or 13 or something. It improves the skip grenade, making it have more twiddly bits and do more damage. You gain an additional skip grenade charge for overflow charging, and skip grenades return a random amount of energy when you damage enemies. And again, there are more twiddly bits, more chances of getting grenade back. Combine this with a number of different grenade-based mods, and you get grenades very, very frequently. When it comes to the rolls, a very high recovery is always nice to see. I definitely think this is a bit more of a PvP exotic. You'd like to see a lot more discipline, and it does have a lot of discipline, and then for hunters, a little bit of mobility. Overall, I think this is a fantastic roll, a fantastic total stats that is perfect for this exotic. Now, obviously, you could have more discipline, but it's pretty damn good. Oh, I totally forgot this thing even had an ornament. Oh, yeah, look, you can look like the dogs. The dogs. Up next after that, we have the Titan Exotic, Lion Rampant, which I believe is my top 5 for Titan Exotics. First of all, in PvP, being able to move faster, being able to defensive hover, being able to have better blind fire with Dead Man's Tale or Last Wish, or not Last Wish, Last Word, or anything like that is just very useful. And in PvE, it is useful for jump puzzles. The number of times you fall into a pit, you're going to need to use this exotic. It's just definitely one of those exotics if you don't have, you need to have whenever you need it. When it comes to the roll, it's not the best possible roll. The total stats 61 is a little below average. You'd like to see a lot more mobility on this, and then the rest is up to you. So I like having recovery, maybe some intellect. It's okay, but it's just not really that great. But again, if you don't have one, this is a fine roll. You just need to have at least one. Oh yeah, it has a few ornaments as well. And this one is one of my favorites. It looks like you're gonna fly. And finally, for the Warlock Exotic, we have the Crown of Tempest. In my opinion, one of the best looking exotics in the game, and it also has a number of ornaments that make it look really dope as well. This definitely makes me feel like I'm the Witch Queen. And it was an exotic that I used to use a lot more often back when Arc was a little more powerful, especially after the different kinds of nerfs we've had across the different things. Even when people love Geomags, I still actually use this for Middle Tree and PvE. And the fact is, you just get more arc ability stuff from getting arc ability kills. Anything with your super, with your abilities, you just kept on bouncing them off of each other. And that's something that I really like. However, again, it is based on arc, one of the weaker subclasses. When it comes to the stats, you'd like to see a lot of intellect, strength, and discipline. It does have discipline and intellect. If you don't like strength, that's okay, especially if you're not using a ranged melee. Having a lot of recovery is always nice to see, and the rest are kind of even, which is really good. Total stats of 64 is going to be that average point, or at least the average point that you're looking for. So overall, a pretty good roll for a fan-freaking-tastic exotic. However, just missing the top 10. I don't know what it is about this thing right here that makes me feel like I need to censor it or something. After that, let's go ahead and move on to the different legendary weapons. First up, for True Prophecy, we've got ourselves a timed payload. Now, personally, I still prefer the explosive payload, which this thing actually can roll with. I do have a few with that roll, and timed payload is another version of that. It does give you extra damage, it does give you that flinch, and in PvP, it may be even better because you get the flinch of the hit and the delayed flinch of the explosion, which definitely throws people off a lot. Beyond that, it does have accurized rounds, but the rest of it is really not that good. You could go for more range, but I would honestly prefer fast draw over a lot of these other options. After that, for the 7 Seraph Revolver, we have Underdog Feeding Frenzy. Not really that much range on it. Definitely not what you're looking for. We have Nature of the Beast, which is a quick draw rangefinder. Pretty damn good for this type of weapon, although I would like to see a range masterwork on it. We have the Distant Tumulus, which is, wow, lead from gold firing line. Pretty much the best you can do with this kind of sniper for PvE. That being said, I usually prefer the lower fire rate for the PvE snipers these days because these fast ones are just too hard to control. The first in last out is a Hipfire Demolitionist. It does have auto-loading as a potential here, and of course Vorpal, which I think are much better, and then of course Assault Mag is just the best because it increases your fire rate. After that we have Honor's Edge, Tireless Counterattack, not what you're looking for. This does roll with Relentless Whirlwind, and finally we have the Keening, a sidearm, which I'm not really that keen about, but and it's a terrible roll, so, you know, there's that. And finally, for the legendary armors, again, I am on my Warlock, so I do see the Warlock ones. Wow, this chest piece is aight. We also have this one, which is high resilience, not a big fan of, and then this one, again, not a big fan of. So the chest piece for Warlock seems to be the best. And of course, if you haven't already, pick up that Exotic Cipher quest. You get basically a free Exotic Cipher, so you can use it on a free Exotic Engram or the Exotic Archive. Just pick that up every week, and you get big you get big bonuses. And of course, Exotic Engrams give you an exotic you've never received before, and it's a high stat roll. And I do love myself a good high stat roll exotic, except for when it's one of those. If you are wondering, by the way. Vorpal auto-loading, Assault Mag, handling, which is kind of what you want in PvE. And of course, if you haven't seen it already, I do actually live stream at twitch.tv/Dychronic all the times you can see on screen right now, which is one of them is right after this Xur video. Oftentimes, we're going to be doing open lobbies for raids and Grandmaster Nightfalls and seasonal stuff, which we will be doing today, Grandmaster Nightfalls. Look forward to that. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, a big thank you to Mom and Dad, Luca Dark Strange, Kelly Andrew Smith, Monday, Background Stream, Shooting and Panther, Casey Reagan, for their support on Patreon. And that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name is Dychronic, and I will see you guys on the next one.